The Therapeutic Goods Administration, TGA, is Australia's regulator of therapeutic goods, including medical devices. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, the TGA has undertaken important activities to ensure that the Australian community has access to quality therapeutic goods to support the government's health initiatives. During the pandemic, healthcare workers rely on personal protective equipment, PPE, to protect them when giving care and treatment. Wearing a face mask or respirator has been demonstrated to be one of the important measures to protect the wearer from the spread of disease, illness and infection. Ensuring that PPE meets relevant standards is essential in ensuring Australian healthcare workers are protected. Although face masks and respirators are classified as a low-risk medical device, the TGA has decided to increase regulatory oversight due to their prominence, increased and widespread use, as well as receiving reports of problems with masks from healthcare professionals. All face masks and respirators indicated for therapeutic use are reviewed and tested by the TGA to verify their performance. For any new face masks or respirators, evidence demonstrating their performance must be submitted for review before approval for sale. The TGA also provides key information, updates, guidance and reference material for users, health professionals, purchasing officers and medical device sponsors and manufacturers. Not all face masks or respirators are the same. There are different types of masks for different purposes. Some products are designed to offer a baseline level of protection and do not meet the definition of a medical device. However, all medical devices must meet necessary regulatory requirements, such as the essential principles, to be legally supplied in Australia. Face masks are considered a medical device if they are intended by the manufacturer to be used for the prevention of the transmission of disease between people, or suitable for therapeutic use such as surgical, clinical, medical use or use in other health services. To supply any type of face mask as a medical device in Australia, you will need to apply to the TGA to include the product on the Australian Register of Therapeutic Goods, ARTG. There are 3 common types of face masks that would normally be considered as a medical device for inclusion on the ARTG. Face masks, respirators, and surgical respirators. Single-use surgical or medical face masks are disposable masks to be placed over the nose and mouth. Their purpose is to protect the wearer from the transmission of blood, body fluids, airborne particulate materials, and airborne organisms. The TGA expects the following minimum performance requirements: fluid resistance at a specified level in line with the claimed standard, proof of filtration efficiency and breathability, acceptable consistency and quality of construction. Single-use respirators are disposable devices made from multiple layers of non-woven polymers. They are form-fitted to a person's face and intended to be used in a medical setting to protect the users from the transfer of microorganisms and airborne particulate materials. The TGA expects the following minimum performance requirements: particulate filtration efficiency greater than 94% for submicron particle sizes, acceptable breathability, ability to form a tight seal around the user's face without leaking, acceptable consistency and quality of construction. Single-use surgical respirators are disposable devices and are to meet the fluid resistance requirements of surgical face masks and the requirement for single-use respirators. Other goods should not be entered on the ARTG as they are not considered medical devices and are not designed or intended to provide adequate protection in a healthcare setting. These goods are not regulated by the TGA provided you do not make any claims on the packaging or advertising information that could make them medical devices. These goods may include cloth face masks, masks designed to protect against other airborne particulates, masks with valve designs that do not offer two-way protection, and masks designed for specific occupational use. In preparing your application for inclusion on the ARTG, consider the following. Are you the person responsible for the import, supply or manufacture of face masks? Are you prepared to accept all regulatory obligations relating to your products? Confirm the following with your manufacturer. You are entering into an agreement with an authorised representative rather than a third party. The goods you will be delivering are genuine. You have a direct agreement that enables you to obtain information from them at short notice. The manufacturer's intended purpose for the product is consistent with its supply and uses as a medical device. They have evidence to demonstrate the product meets the essential principles. They have evidence of conformity assessment procedures, including information on manufacturing practice and quality management processes. You should not purchase medical devices through a third-party distributor, such as some online platforms, as the information, certification and goods may not be genuine, and you may not be able to confirm or obtain further evidence from the manufacturer. You are taking on significant responsibility as a sponsor. Therefore, consider if the manufacturer has adopted the following recommended practices. The TGA expects manufacturers to assess all risks associated with the device, including taking action and making records to assess and mitigate risks to ensure that the device will perform as intended, safely and consistently. Testing is an important part of risk management. When considering what testing methods are applied, ensure the manufacturer has considered details such as the frequency, sample size, and scope of testing, a statistically sound sampling plan based on your risk tolerance and manufacturing consistency. Testing or examination can occur throughout production, starting from when raw materials are received, after key manufacturing steps, and after the final product is assembled. Some tests may be quick and simple, and others may require removing samples and undertaking detailed analysis. It is important to ensure that each test provides representative data about masks in the entire batch, and that it can be linked directly to the intended purpose of the device. ARTG inclusion is the first step in enabling supply of your device. As a sponsor, you have key responsibilities to ensure ongoing safety and performance of your products. All face mask applications for inclusion in the ARTG will be subject to information review by the TGA. The TGA may undertake further evaluation activities after inclusion. You are required to establish and retain effective post-market monitoring processes for each individual device, and will be asked to present this information upon request. For example, you must have a procedure in place to report defects and safety issues to the TGA and the manufacturer. If you become aware of a potential performance issue, you should notify the manufacturer immediately, who would risk assess against the issue. You should also report key defect or safety issues to the TGA. Following a detailed assessment, the manufacturer should determine what corrective action should be taken and document all actions and make such records available to the TGA. You and the manufacturer may be required to take steps to mitigate any immediate risks for users or remove risk associated with the device in the future. Actions may include recall of product or changes to design or quality management procedures to ensure future compliance. As the regulator of medicines and medical devices, the TGA will test personal protective equipment, including face masks, to assess whether they meet these regulatory requirements via internal post-market monitoring. Make sure you know your obligations as a sponsor, manufacturer, or supplier of face masks intended for use as a medical device. You can access a comprehensive guide on face mask standards and testing requirements, as well as evidence requirements for face masks that are medical devices, via the TGA website.